To contact Shock of the Hour by email, soth@angelfire.com. Shock of the Hour email, soth@angelfire.com. Or contact Shock of the Hour by phone, 773-978-6143.
And all that requires an in-depth study. To understand all this, it requires an in-depth study of all these symbols. Of all these symbols and all these things around us that has made us victims. Victims of America living in the valley of the shadow of death. What you see here is a map of downtown Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States of America. This is the capital of the United States of America. What you see here is the capital, and this is the mall. For you brothers who went to the Million Man March, this is where you were lined up, right along this area. Now, this article appeared in the Washington Post some years ago, about 3 years ago, actually. Now, let me show you what they did in trying to trick us. How did they have this thing? Yeah, this way. Right, here we go. You see how the writing is. See how the writing is for like the House of the Temple and Union Station up here and the United States Capitol and all that. Now, this is how the article appeared with right here by Dave Cook, the Washington Post. Now, this is how they gave you the article. And they highlighted in the wording of the article the fact that they had the five-pointed star and the fact that they had the compass in the square, right? This is Pennsylvania Avenue right here. This is Constitution Avenue right here. Maryland Avenue, all this right here, right? And they said this was the goat head because of these two streets up here. They said that's the goat head and all that, right? Now, see, all that's half-truth. Half-truth. Now, let me show you. What tweaked my interest was this. I said, well, wait a minute. Why do they have north pointing west? Why do they have north right here pointing west? Why don't they have north pointing natural north? Just look at it for a second. See north? Yeah. Wouldn't north normally be pointed up here? Going that way? Why they got north pointed there? Because, see, normally when they give you the picture in any map that you may get of the District of Columbia, you always see the mall, which is right here, facing the Capitol. Always see the mall running east and west. See, the Capitol is on the east portion, right here. This is east, over here. The Capitol is always on the east, and the Lincoln Memorial is always here on the west. Now, why they put the memorial, Lincoln Memorial, over here on the west? Is because symbolically the sun dies in the west. It rises in the east and symbolically dies in the west, and that's why they put all the death memorials, the Jefferson Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, Arlington Cemetery, all of the cemeteries and memorials relative to death are on the west portion. And that's why they sent Martin Luther King there for the March on Washington. When he gave the I Have a Dream speech, he gave it in front of the Lincoln Memorial. They did, when the Masons hold their ceremonies, they hold it right here in front of the Capitol, in the eastern portion. Because they playing out the sun god worship. And the sun does what in the east? It rises. So this is where they hold their session. But when they had us holding our session, they sent us down here to the dead part. Not the Million Man March. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And the title, the caption says, "The Devil in Downtown Washington," adopted from a book titled Freemasonry, Satan's Door to America, published by Free the Masons Ministry. Brother Yoel likes this type of, likes this flyer. Matter of fact, I brought some that feel free, you all, as you pass out this evening, see sisters to hear. There's some copies of this that I brought with me that I'll, be glad to share with you. All these symbols set up. Now, so when I realized that this map was not pointing natural north, and I turned it natural north, then I saw why they didn't want to give it to you in natural north. Because look at what is called the Goat of Mendes. It's the five-pointed star inverted, right? Five-pointed star turned upside down with the goat head inside of it, correct? Right? So what did they do here? What's this? Is this not the same symbol? This is the same thing. What's at the base of it? The White House. And you take these 5 circles, Mount Vernon Square, okay, DuPont Circle, Washington Circle, and this is Logan Circle, and the White House. You attach those 4 circles and the White House, and you get the Goat of Mendes, the five-pointed star, inverted. Right, well this is the slave route. When they used to sell us, see along here in the mall area, there were taverns. And in these taverns is where we would be sold as slaves. And then we would be marched down Pennsylvania Avenue and marched around the White House in a ceremony. Now that you know that the White House was at the tip end of the goat head, in this process of marching us down Pennsylvania Avenue and around the White House, what was taking place? A ritual. A ritual was taking place. They were offering us up. In addition to selling us, they were offering us up. This is the symbol of Lucifer. This is the symbol of Shaitan in the nation's capital. Pennsylvania Avenue. This is the compass and the square. Everything is a living entity. Though you may not see it, everything has life. So when you construct a city that has streets and symbols that invoke satanic auras, no wonder D.C. has the highest death rate, the highest infant mortality rate, the highest crime rate. When you got a people, 70% of color, living in an area with all these symbols around them, no wonder there's so much craziness and foolishness going on. Now, I know you've heard numerous times folks go through the stuff on the dollar bill. The fact that you got 13 talents, 13 olives in the claw and all that stuff, y'all heard all that from numerous speakers.
That's right.
Now to show you how on time this is, right here in front of the White House, in front of the White House is Pennsylvania Avenue. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is the address of the White House. Okay? Now, right here is Pennsylvania Avenue, and right here at 16th and S Street, S is in Sam, on the corner of 16th and S, is the house of the temple or the house of the Mother Supreme. They moved the headquarters of the Scottish Rite from Charleston. They moved it to Washington, D.C. And as a matter of fact, I know you all have heard of Albert Pike, because I'm certain folks who've come in and spoke to you have really mentioned him, because you can't talk about Freemasonry without talking about Albert Pike. Albert Pike is now buried in the house of the temple at 16th and S Street Northwest. But this is the point I want to make certain that all of the numbers bear witness to all of what I'm saying. Here in front of Pennsylvania Avenue, start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Actually 13 blocks between the White House and the house of the Mother Supreme to maintain the significance of this 580. This figure right here, 580. 580 represents 580 years that they added to the calendar just with the stroke of a pen in 1776. In 1776, it was not actually 1776, it was actually 1196. Write down 1196. Write down 1196 and add 580 to it. If you need more tapes, you took it from there. Oh, man. Appreciate it. Yes, write down 1196. You write down 1196, add 580 years to it. What you got? 1776. Now, that's what that 580, if I converted 580 into the Hebraic word, right, by assigning the 500 and the 80 to Hebraic letters, and then that formulates a word, that word means valley of the shadow of death. And that's why you got all of this crap, the satanic though, the Masonic compass in the square, all of that. Okay? Now these symbols. Later on, we'll get into a discussion about this symbol, which is very important. Because what I have come to find out, that this symbol is a representation of a corrupted imagery that was being used by some folks in France and England called the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar. But you got to understand who drew this picture. Eliphas Levi drew this picture. And Eliphas Levi, his real name was Alphonse Constance. And Alphonse Constance was a Roman Catholic priest who left the church, allegedly, to study the occult, came up with these symbols, and then in his later life rejoined the Catholic Church. This was, I believe, we believe, an attempt to demonize a people called the Knights Templars, who are something other than what you think they were. We talked about this, the Golden Mendes, and this is the Sphinx, the Grecian Sphinx. You got Kabbalah, and again, Kabbalah has been corrupted, taken from Islamic history and Islamic language, and all you got to do to understand this is to break down Kabbalah. You hear it? Kabbalah. Okay? Kabbalah. Okay? Here we have this. N-E-D-U. Nedu. N-E-D-U. Nedu. Now, if I took N-E-D-U and transliterated by dropping my accessory vowel E, it'll become N-D-U. Now, interestingly enough, that's the same acronym for Notre Dame University. But this word here, check this out. This word here means the ancient Sumerian god to the entrance to the realm of the dead. Sumerian god, meaning the entrance to the realm of the dead. Now, what does that tell you about Notre Dame University? It's the entrance to the realm of the dead. As soon as you turn into the university, there's a graveyard looking you in the face. On the left-hand side, as soon as you drive into the main entrance to the university, a graveyard looking you in the face. That's the land of the dead. That's the land of the dead. This next symbol is the fascist symbol. It's the fascist symbol, which is a bundle of sticks. Same definition for a faggot. Okay, the same definition for a faggot is the same base word for fascist. And think about most of your most repressive fascists in history were faggots. Yeah. Hope I ain't offending those faggots up in here. But most of your repressive leaders, historically, Constantine, Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover, were all gays. Now, what does that say about the emergence of homosexuality politically today? What are they getting, and who are they getting ready to repress? And who are they going to use to repress us? They're going to use the people who are repressed, which is the homosexuals. And for them to gain political might and power, they're going to repress us. Because they've always been the most repressive. They've always been the ones being assigned to put us in check.
And we see more of them today than ever.
That's what I'm saying, sister.
Who you thought was all right.
Exactly. The same word for fascist right here, is the same word for faggot. Fascist means a bundle of sticks. The idea is this. If you take one stick, you can easily break it. If I took this pen and broke this pen into 8 pieces and put all 8 together and then try to break all 8, it'd be difficult. So what does that mean? Just strength in numbers. Now, you talking about a close-knit community? The homosexual community? Close-knit, very tight, strong in numbers, because they're coming together politically. All these symbols in here are Masonic symbols. Yeah, brother.
Fascist symbol for war?
Fascist symbol for war. Matter of fact, what this used to be used.
It used to be on the dime.
It is. Look, it used to be on the dime. Exactly. Good point, brother. Also, if you look down into the well of Congress, down where the Speaker of the House sits, on each side of the Speaker of the House is that symbol. Now, what this denoted was when the Roman magistrate would come into the courtroom or the hall of justice, a person would precede him carrying this symbol. A bundle of sticks, a bundle of rods, with this axe. Yeah, brother.
That also the shape of salt, what is it,
A Uzi?
Yes, you turn it, you know, the other way around.
Oh, yeah. I see.
I don't know,
It take a brother from the hood and figure that out. That's it.
You wouldn't know anything
It
about
take a brother from the hood.
Of course you don't know anything about that.
That's right, bring y'all down, brother.
Well, he's right on time. He does look like a Uzi. I mean, what that makes me think of is, I'm sure y'all familiar with Frances Cress Weldon. You know, she's ISIS papers, so forth. And we hear about her all the time because she's in D.C. And she talks about the white mentality, white mind creating something material to offset the black man's, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So he came up with a gun. And if you look at a profile of penis and testicles, it is the same as a pistol. If you visualize the testicles being the handle and the protruding portion. So this was the white man's mentality, a way to offset your capability as a black man to produce a seed to produce another black person. He had to come up with something to counter that. So he came shoot from the hip, came up with a gun. That protrudes a bullet, doesn't it? Just like the penis protrudes semen, doesn't it? Same concept. But only he used it for killing.
How do I know there is a God? Because people suffer. Why do people suffer? To come closer to God. So through your agony, through your adversity, through your challenges, as you burn by the fires of existence and bleed out the disease of your own degradation, remember the answer to your problems, the remedy to your ills, both physical and mental, the response to your tearful prayers in the middle of the night, the end to your never-ending twisting, burning, retching, heart-sinking, shaken being, the answers to all of that, the end to all of that is as close to you as your breath. Some of you, and lots of you, most of you are so mentally diseased and have been that way for so long, you people don't even know you're dead already. Have a nice night. Sweet dreams.